All right, all right, all right. Well, we're back, and this time we've got sound. You can hear me. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I was muted, but this time I'm unmuted, so you can actually hear me. Good evening once again. My name is Florencia Chang-Ageda. However, you can find me on YouTube as Flo, Flo, Chang-Ageda. So, hey YouTube, hey Facebook, how are you? Uh, if you have a friend who you think would appreciate this message or you think might need to hear it, you can always, and they're not on Facebook, you can always go to my YouTube page. As I said before, I'm on the Flo Chang, FLO, Chang Agita, and you'll find it and you can share with them. And, always give a like, a thumbs up, right? Because, hey, this, you know how it is. We're measured by that. I usually think it's content, right? However, who knows, right? So, anyway, give some thumbs up and share, please. Thank you. Please share with those who you may think like it. I always share when I find something interesting. And for those of you who watch my programs, you know that because I've shared other people's broadcasts with you when I think it applies or I find something that inspires me. I'm always willing to share or uplifts, right? So we're here to encourage each other. So here I am, and I trust that this message will encourage you as well. So tonight's message is entitled Masterpiece, as I said before, or if I didn't, I said it before in the other. It's masterpiece. So what is a masterpiece? Well, let me read the definitions for you. It's the greatest piece of work, something done with masterly skill or excellence. It's something that's par excellence, right? So whether you're a chef, you're a painter, you're a writer, whatever you are, whatever it's your work, you're a singer, songwriter, it's your shining piece, the one that stands out, the one that's head and shoulders above all the rest. And you could do great bodies of work. Everything that you do is great, but there will be something that shines, something that stands out, something that is above the others. And so that is what your masterpiece would be, is something done with masterly skill or excellence, as I said before. It is the showpiece. It is the jewel. It is the best of the best. Well, think about that. You think about if you've ever, whatever your area, or your area of expertise, or your skill, or your hobby, or your, whatever that is, in the best of the best you've done, something that you take pride in. Well, you you are God's masterpiece. Me, I am God's masterpiece, right? We are God's masterpiece. See, we are the pride of God's creation. When God created the earth, he created the trees, he said, that's good. The birds, that's good. The animals, that's good. He created us in his image and likeness. And he said, Tov meod, very good, right? So we are the crowning jewel of his creation. Glory to God. And so something that I learned about masterpiece and things that stand out, they have that light about them. But sometimes we do things that dull our luster, or sometimes it's not even our own doing. We can fall into circumstances. Some kids are born into homes where they're abused. So it's not something that we willingly do, but the Bible tells us in enter the world, therefore, ergo, right? So, but no matter what it is that dulls the luster, what I learned about diamonds is that when no matter what they go through, a diamond never loses its value and it never loses its shine, right? So what I had shown before, and let me show it again. You didn't know what I was saying, but let me show it again. I was showing you my ring. I had it's a very, I have a ring. Okay. And this is what had happened. It went through the the go through, right? It just had a bad time. And do you know, I took it to my friend who's a jeweler. And when I brought it to him, I said, is there anything you can do with this ring? Because I wasn't sure it could come back from where it was. It doesn't even look half as bad in the picture as it did in reality. Okay. So when I brought it to him, I was like, wow, I don't even think there was anything to be. And he said, wow, this is a beautiful piece. Now, mm-mm, mm-mm. I wouldn't have seen it and said, wow, I would be like, whatever happened to that? Because that's what it was mine. And I knew that, um, you know. So he said, I'm going to clean it for you. He said, and I want you to come back and pick it up. Like, I'm not going to keep it overnight. I said, okay. Now, this is what it looks like. And I hope you can get it. Okay, I think you could see it. It ended up being such a beautiful piece when he gave it back. I was like, wow, in amazement. But what I learned, that was a memorable moment for me because I remember when I took it to him and I was a little bit disappointed when I found it again. And I said, oh my goodness, because it's actually my engagement ring. And so um, I was disappointed when I saw the condition it was in. But when I received it again, oh, you can bet. Listen, I was so happy. I was ecstatic. But the thing is, the purpose or the good that God created you to accomplish, you can still do no matter what it is that you've been through. You just have to let Jesus give you back that shine, right? Because there is a shine in you, there is a light within you that needs to come out. My diamonds had a light about them. It just had gone through so much, right? That it couldn't shine on its own, but it never lost its value. As a matter of fact, and he told me that my ring was valuable, just even before, you know, saying my engagement, my wedding band had been stolen, as was my husband's. But through it all, God. So, and I give glory to him. I've been through some things. I know there were days when I wasn't shining, but uh, the light was still there. You see, it doesn't matter if you're homeless, you're still God's masterpiece. Peace. If you've been battered, bruised, and abused, you're still God's masterpiece. If you're divorced, still his masterpiece. Separated, still his masterpiece. You're not working, still God's masterpiece. People may look down on you because you're not working or you don't have a job and you don't have the fancy things that other people can purchase. You're still God's masterpiece. You're single, you're still his masterpiece. You're sick, you're still his masterpiece. You've lost a lot in life, you're still his masterpiece. You've been through the ringer, you are still his masterpiece. You have fallen and you don't feel as if you can get up, you are still God's masterpiece. And there's a light in you. Get up, go to the mirror, right? Wipe away some of the smudge. By wipe, you can wipe tears because some of you may have been crying. When you're crying and you look, vision is blurred, right? Mm-hmm. But nothing, remember that, nothing stops you from being God's masterpiece. Nothing you've been through stops you from being God's masterpiece. You may have entered into prostitution, still God's masterpiece. May have sold drugs, still God's masterpiece. May have stolen some things, still God's masterpiece. Doesn't matter what you've done or what you're doing right now. What matters is that you don't stay where you are. You see, had I kept my ring and said, you know what, I don't think there's any comeback for this ring, I'm just going to keep it that way, then I couldn't wear it again. You know, I really couldn't. I just couldn't wear it. You should have seen the state it was in. I was afraid to really put it on my finger. I was like, mm-mm. It looked like it had something. That's how bad it looked. And sometimes people may look at you that way, look at it, you as if you're contagious, as if, you know, there are people who've seen people who are struggling in their health. And because they don't look optimally who they were before, they look and it's as if, oh, if I'm close to that person, I'm going to get what they get, what they have. No, 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 no. And you have to know you are still God's masterpiece. You've got the light is still within you. You see, your luster just needed a little shine. I should have, well, I didn't want to bring the ring, but actually, I don't have it here. But listen, just as I said, allow Jesus, allow Christ, allow the King of all kings, the Prince of Peace, the God of love, allow him light to just shed a little light on you. Shine, you know, it's like the light that illumines, just like how the sun, the moon gets its light from the sun. So too, when he comes and you're in his presence, you're going to be illuminated. Why? Because his light is just going to give you that glow. So listen, your luster may just need a little shine, son or daughter of God. And even if you're not, you've never heard of God, you don't even know who God is, you don't know who Jesus is, you're like, I don't know who that is, because you were raised in a home where nobody ever talked about God. And now you're listening and you're like, who's that? That's all you have to say. Well, who are you, God? Who's she talking about? And she's talking about that you can clean me up. You can cause me to shine. And I am your masterpiece. Well, I want to know you. That's all you have to say. Seriously, if it's in your heart, just be honest, just be open. You don't have to go anywhere. You can stay right where you are, sitting on the bed, sitting on the side of the street, right? Walking, driving, whatever it is, wherever you are. You know, you're in a bar, you went to the bathroom and you just happen to see this video and you're like, what? Right there in the bathroom, in the stall. Yeah. Right there. Right there. You may be so dry. You were puking, you were vomiting, and you were like just regurgitating. And then you were like, wait, what was this? And as you're doing that, you're hearing, yes, you are God's masterpiece. Even in that state, you are God's masterpiece. Yes, you are. Valuable. Mhm. You're valuable. So I pray that it makes a difference for someone today, that no matter what it is you're going through, no matter what situation you're in currently, you are valuable to God. You're not just valuable oh, like Hope Diamond valuable, you know, priceless, that kind of valuable, right? Like perfect diamond that have been created, that kind of valuable, priceless. You see, when you can't put a price on something, you know it's priceless. Well, so are you. So I want you to shine. Shine through your tears. Shine through your pain. Shine through your sickness. Shine through your poverty. Shine. As a matter of fact, the sickness, the pain, the poverty, the heartache, they're not yours. Just shine through them. They're not yours. They're just there to make you feel as if you're less than. The situation in your marriage, to make you feel as if you're less than. On the job, to make you feel as if you're less than, but you're not less than. You're priceless. You're God's masterpiece. So shine no matter what you're going through. Shine, for you are God's. What? Come on, I want you to say it with me. Say, I am God's masterpiece. Yes, yes, you are. You so are. And I pray that this message really encourages you. So, God's masterpiece, what are you going to do? You're going to get up, get some shine on, put on your dancing shoes and start dancing. Listen, and even if you can't get up and dance, then lift. Even if you can't, sometimes folks be getting up out, and you may not know about this. You get up out the bed and you can't really get up out the bed, but you have to have someone help you out the bed. I mean, I was sick. I know what that is like when I had to be lifted and carried to the bathroom. So you think about it, even in that state, I was still God's masterpiece. And so no matter what it is you're going through, you are God's masterpiece. So I am going to, hold on, let me check to see if anyone's watching. And if anyone's watching, I might just greet you. Well, don't see. Yep. Hey, Paulette. Hey, niece. How are you? I see Paulette is on. Oh, she was on before. You were on before and you couldn't hear me. So, yes, I know I forgot to unmute myself, but I pray that this message encourages you, whether you're hearing it now, tomorrow, the day after, a month, a week, a year from today. I pray that it encourages you and that share it with someone, and I'll have it up on YouTube. And if they don't have Facebook, you can always send it to them from YouTube. Remember, I'm on YouTube on the Flow Chang-Ageda. So God's masterpiece, go on now, have yourself a marvelous weekend, and then go on into the new week, knowing you are God's most valuable masterpiece, priceless masterpiece. And of course, we are created in the image and likeness of God. And why is this possible? It's all possible because of Jesus. So I pray that this blesses you. Okay. All righty. So have a wonderful evening, everyone, and be safe. God loves you very, very much. I love you. My love for you, though, pale in companion to his, right? But we know that we're loved. And you are what? Say it with me. God's masterpiece. Yes, you are. Okay.